What is up, everyone? My name is Malthus. I am a big enthusiast in the modding community, especially with games made by Bethesda, but a lot of other ones. And I wanted to just make an updated video of how to get the most out of your games using a program that I love called Wabbajack. The program is absolutely free and can be found at a link in the description. It is basically a place where you can find mod lists for a large variety of games that are curated and made by people who are very tech savvy. And so they're going to be able to do a lot better job than people of my level here. I want to show you kind of how I have everything set up. So I have a large HDD. Okay, this is a slow hard drive, but it's very large. This is where I have Wabbajack. But then I have a separate one that's a SSD, my bad. And what I use it for is only games that I'm going to be playing on stream. This is also where I recommend you install any game that you're going to install a large mod pack for. You want to have an SSD because of the load speeds. Anytime you're using a large mod pack, you're going to have very slow load speed if you aren't careful and put it on a high performing hard drive. So let me show you how it works. First, we're going to go into here. We're going to go to Wabbajack. After you download it, that is. It's just a normal application you download. Like I said, I'll put that in the description. It's got a pretty good user interface. Pretty easy to understand. It's a joke on Sheogorath from Elder Scrolls, if you're not familiar with that. That's where the name and the iconography comes from. It's nothing to be terrified about. Okay, once it loads up, you'll see it has 3 options here. And it also has like their Discord, their Patreon, and a couple of other things. Like I said, free service. They're just like an aggregator, a third party that works with mod pack creators to kind of give you an easy way to put everything in here. It has features that we're not going to look at, but you can like create your own mod list if you want. If you want to try your hand at it, it's a lot of minutia. You got to like make sure things load in the right order. You can also pre-download. So like if you know you're going out of town or something, you can download on a different hard drive, and then you can install it by moving it onto that one properly using the install from disk. I've never done it, but I do know some people that like, and I'm going to say this, I don't condone it. I'm going to say it out loud. A active Nexus account is very useful for this. And I'll go into why here in a second, but it does cost $5 a month. Some people don't want to pay it. I see it as helping modders because Nexus gives them a place to kind of post their stuff and get their cred. It also gives them a way to get donations from a larger audience. And so I like to pay for it. But what we could technically do would be to have a friend download a mod pack for you and then install it through this. That would allow you to bypass some of the features that I'm going to go over with you later. But mainly you're going to go to here, go to Browse Mod List. Next thing you're going to do is there's a couple of icons up here, up at the top. I'm going to go ahead and make a full screen. So I don't use not safe for work stuff, but you are free to. There's a shitload of it. Obviously, this is the internet. There's also unofficial and only installed. So like if I did this one, it would only show Tempest, Maledictus, and a couple of others from like Morrowind and Oblivion. So you have 2 options here. First of all, go ahead and click this one because a lot of the more niche mod lists aren't listed as official because they haven't been tested by an administrator, but they work pretty well. If you're new to it and you don't want to mess with that, just leave this undone and it'll show only ones that have been basically proven by the Wabbajack team. So you'll go in here and you'll pick your game. This is kind of the directory for games that they have a lot of. As you can see, it's a lot of Bethesda games. Fallout 4 works really well with it. So does Skyrim Special Edition / Anniversary Edition. There's some Starfield stuff, Oblivion, No Man's Sky, Enderal, which is a tweak of Skyrim using Skyrim's engine, but it's a totally different game. Dragon Age, a few other things, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate 3, Heard there's some pretty good stuff on there. Or you could go over here. So like Morrowind wasn't on that list, but you can go over and put in Morrow, and it would bring up things like this. This is the mod pack that I personally use when I play Morrowind. We're going to be playing it on stream here someday, but we'll use this as kind of our example. So if you look at it, you see this text right here. Whenever you hover over something, it'll basically tell you a few things about the mod. It'll tell you what versions it's on. That only really matters if you are keeping track of if it's being updated or not. And that would be important for something that you're actively using. The download size, installation size. So these are going to be, you're going to download 8 gigs of zipped files, and you're going to install 11 gigs of full files. The total size of the entire mod pack will end up being 19 gigs plus the size of the game and any save files it makes. So that's going to be its own separate thing. So you got to remember that. If you have an older computer, I highly recommend going for a smaller mod pack, one that doesn't emphasize graphics. But if you're playing like a Morrowind one, and you have to have a pretty old computer, you know, not to be able to do it. I think I personally played something like this with a 1660 Super. Worked fine. So we'll go back to my home plate. I'll show you kind of stuff that I'm more familiar with. A couple of things to look out for. Like I said, if you don't have a great computer, watch out for any of them that are designed to have high fidelity or like overhauled graphics or like a beautiful world or stuff like that. That's stuff that makes the game beautiful, but also not run very well. Also, you might want to stay away from the larger mod packs until you know how your computer can handle the other ones. So like this one, Wildlander, heard great things about it. It makes it into a life sim, basically. It is a total of 127 gigabytes. That's about a run of the mill. It's not what I usually play on stream, but it's a good one to get started with if you wanted one that wasn't huge and you just kind of wanted to see what it can do. Oh, by the way, you have to kind of go to these little gaps in between the things to scroll down on it, right? Lore Rim, hugely popular right now, incredibly hard, makes it more like a Dark Souls game. I personally tried it. I am a mediocre gamer when it comes to difficulty, and I got wrecked before I got to Riverwood by an imp. So take for that as you will. Also, it's almost 600 gigs plus install. So there's that. If you're playing on, I play with a 3060 and I'm streaming at the same time. I get about 45 to 60 frames per second with my current mod pack, which is Tempest Maledictum. Highly recommend. But if you're not streaming, you're going to be able to get way better than that. So as long as you have a modern graphics card of either AMD or NVIDIA, you're going to be fine. Or hearing really good things about the B580. So there are some, some are bigger than others. A lot of them are in the 300 or 400 gig range. Let me try to find my current one. Apostasy is supposed to be really good. Let's see. This is the one I'm currently running, and I was looking for Living Skyrim. Currently, Living Skyrim is under maintenance. It's probably being updated. That's fine. We can't download it right now. It's been kind of pulled off. This is a really good starter mod. If you have a fairly large hard drive, as you can see, it's 402 gigs plus install, plus game saves and Creation Club files and stuff. This is what I first started. This was my first mod pack I played on my channel. It's on there if you want to see it. I believe it's called like Modded Skyrim or something like that. It's the first, and then the second one's Mega Modded, which is Tempest Maledictum. This one was a really good introduction into mod packs. Highly recommended for people who are newer. It didn't change too terribly much. Made the game look really nice. Added a bunch of perk updates, new quest lines, stuff like that, but didn't add anything overhauling. So if we go to Tempest, right, we'll use that one as our example because I've already got it installed. Basically, Tempest Maledictum is a huge overhaul. If you've seen any of the shorts that I've been putting out, all that jank is coming from this one. The multiple dragons at one time, you know, having lots of different weird. There's like a Souls-like mod campaign. There's one that's inspired by Silent Hill. There's one where you rebuild the Vigilance of Stendar. You go into the Reach, into like High Rock and do some stuff there. It's a really cool time. Having a great time with it. People on my stream seem to like it. The magic system is great. So if you ever wanted to play a mage, we're currently playing a stealth archer. Don't tell anyone. Highly recommended. So since I've already got it installed, it's got this little play button. We're gonna ignore that for a second. So on like the Old North here, it would have this little button. What that would do is it would download a list of all the mods you need to be able to play it. Then once you click that button, it'll go through a little loading bar at the bottom here. And once it fills up, it'll turn into a little play button. We're going to click that play button. Okay. Anytime you open up a new mod pack, it's going to take you to, like after you do the download and hit the play button, it'll pull you up to either a README file or a GitHub that'll have basically everything you'll need to know. It'll also have like who made the pack. So this is like Lively, great guy. Talked to him in Discord a couple times. He's got his README. It's got some change logs, some FAQs. If you ever have any problems, their Discord will help you out immediately. Even if you fuck up and it's the stupidest thing, they'll help you. So I don't need this open, but I would highly recommend while you're installing it and everything, you can go through this because it'll also tell you like what's in it, what isn't in it, what should I be looking for, stuff like that. So it's very simple to get things installed, at least from my experience. And I've done Fallout 4, Skyrim, both Special Edition and Anniversary Edition. I've done Morrowind, Oblivion, and a couple of other games that were like very small. Didn't do much with them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to install or make a new folder on your fastest hard drive that can hold that amount of data. So like this one was about 500 gigs. So I just made a new Skyrim. Okay. I just made a folder named new Skyrim. And as you can see, I click this button right here. Once you've made that new folder, you're going to come in here. Sorry, I got to go to FI. Right here, you'll click it and it'll select it and it'll automatically make a downloads folder for you. You don't have to make it. In fact, don't make it. Before you hit that play button though, what we're going to do is we're going to go into your Steam. You're going to delete your current installation of Skyrim. You don't need to delete any of like any characters or anything like that. Just delete, uninstall it like normal. Reinstall it. Play it. Get to the loading screen. And I want you to allow it to download anything from the Creation Club. It's going to take a little while, but those are necessary and cannot be downloaded from Nexus. Okay. So, like I said, you just uninstall it, reboot it, hit play, get it to like the loading screen where it has like the menu options on the radial side, and then it has like the background with the dragon symbol, whatever dragon symbol, and it'll just say, would you like to download the Creation Club stuff? You hit yes, and then all you do is you come over here and you click this little play button. If you have a premium Nexus account, all you'll do is you'll go up here and you'll sign into it. So click that, you sign in. Okay. If you don't, you're going to have to, if you do, all you'll have to do is, sorry, the wrong button. All you have to do is hit the play button. It'll download all of it for you, right? Stop trying to give me the stupid README file. If you don't have premium, you're going to have to approve the download of every single mod pack. We're talking, let's see, 1,703 different programs, 1,864 plugins. You're going to have to approve probably 2,000, or not 2,000, 1,200 to 1,400 of those, because some of them have multiple things in them. It can be very tedious. My friend Tube, who he's a regular on my channel, he did it. He said it took him like 2 days. It's $5.99 to do it, to get a Nexus Premium. You only have to do it once, because we're going to go over my golden rules of modding. And once you get all this stuff downloaded, you aren't going to need that Nexus Premium again. But you're going to get about 70 to 80 hours of content out of this. So it's worth the $5. Just throw it to Nexus. Let them have their $5 because you're going to be using their bandwidth for a little while. That aside, this would be when, if you had a friend with it, you could put it on a hard drive, give it to them, or give them a hard drive to put it on. They could put it on there. You download it from that. And you would use that install from Drive. It's up to you. I'm not telling you to do it or not to. Just giving you all the options. Once this runs, and it'll take most of the bandwidth from your computer. You can throttle it if you want, but I wouldn't. Why would you? It took me about 4 hours to reinstall it. I did it a couple of days ago because of some issues I had. And then it'll install itself. And then it'll give you you'll go into your new Skyrim folder, or whatever you call it. Some people just name it, Tempest Maledictum or Living Skyrim or whatever. And you'll find the mod organizer. Okay, they all come with one. Might look a little different, but it's always going to be something about mod organizer, mod runner, or something like that. And it's going to look like this. Okay? If there's anything you don't want in that mod pack, all you have to do is figure out what section it would be in. So let's say we go to vanilla quest enhancements. And I don't want thugs, not assassins. So instead of sending Dark Brotherhood people against me, it'll just send random thugs. That's a random thing that can happen in Skyrim. I would unclick it, and it would update. Once you've started a game, this is my golden rule. Okay, once you have started a game and made a character, you don't touch a fucking thing on this. You don't update it. You don't check for updates. You don't do anything. Okay, all you do is you make sure this is Skyrim SE, because it'll usually come in here and it'll be like, Skyrim, one of these ones. Change it to SKSE and hit run. It'll load up the game. Takes a long time, even if you're running on SSDs, but it'll run, and it'll take I think we clocked it at like 6 minutes to do a full total boot up, and then you'll be able to play as regular. So here's a story about the time I broke my golden rule. About 4 months ago, I did a run through of Skyrim with this mod pack, but an older version. And we stopped after about 70 episodes. And I was about, I would say, 60 hours into that character, because I did a couple of streams around Christmas with it too. And then I'm like, well, I really want to do this one mod campaign. So I did some snooping, and I found that it was indeed, like, if we go, take that down, we want new lands and quests, right? We go down to here. Here's Beyond Reach. That's a really cool one. You see this Glenmorill, and then you see Vigilant and Unslot. Those are an amazing quest chain that has to do with rebuilding the vigilance of Stendar. Fucking fantastic. It's got one part, it's a 3-part series. One is rebuilding the vigilance of Stendar. One is influenced by the Silent Hill series, and one is set in a dragon soul, or a dragonborn. No, fuck, demon soul. Whatever. A demon soul place where there's like bosses. Every single boss has like a giant health bar and an arena, and you got to learn their moves, and you can dodge and all that stuff. Each one comes with like a unique armor set. Very cool. I wanted to do this on stream, and I noticed that it was downloaded, but I wasn't getting the trigger for it whenever I did it. And so I, like the most intelligent man ever, checked for updates. And I tried to do an update. Well, the problem was in the 4 months that I hadn't updated, they had added and removed about 300 different mods from the pack, totally bricking my save. So that character of like 70 hours, 60, 70 hours, gone. It doesn't even let me load it or attempt to load it. It's just gone. Ended up having to completely delete the mod pack and re-download it, which is a pain in the ass because it takes hours. My buddy Tired can attest to that because I bugged him on Steam the entire day because I couldn't do anything else. And, I ended up having to restart. And that's fine. I've kind of learned to live with that. But that's what I'm like. If you want to try this, highly recommend it. Do a lot of auto saving in your games because you never know if you're going to have a random crash. I usually have one about every 4 hours or so with this mod pack, and that could be my computer. I'm taxing my computer pretty hard, playing on ultra graphics with stream. Trying to stream at the same time. So just find out what your computer can handle and give a mod pack a try. If you have any problems, let me know. Or if you want to try any of them, use the comments as like a place to talk to other people. There's we're a large community of modders, but a lot of people like me, I don't use Discord. So I don't really have the conduit to talk to other people who do this because they all use Discord. But I'd love to hear from you guys if you want to try them, if you've tried some that were awesome, other games you've used. I just want to make sure you guys get the most out of the games that you love. And it's a great way. When you play this, you don't have to buy another game. It's $5 for basically an entirely new game. Or free if you can stand to sit there. Like, one example, if you play New Vegas, there's a New Vegas one. It's only about 200 mods, right? But that's still substantial when you think about how old that game is. Because with 200 mods, you can do a lot of damage. And I could hit next 200 times. It's just going to be I throw a movie up on one screen and do that on the other. So I hope this helps. I hope it gives you something to do. I know personally I live outside of Kansas City. We can't do jack shit right now. It's a frozen wasteland outside. So I hope you guys have a great new year. It's, a couple of days after, but still have a great new year. If you're ever interested, we stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, 9 p.m. Central to about midnight. Sometimes on Fridays, I go a little longer, but I got 2 little kids, so sometimes things get a little timey-wimey. But yeah, we'd love to have you if you want a place to hang out. If you just want to talk about modding or playing Skyrim and stuff like that. That's what we're currently playing. We're playing Tempest Maledictum. Highly recommend. Anyway, I hope you have a great night, and let me know if this was helpful. If it is, we can look at different games. Maybe something like Morrowind would be better for somebody who doesn't have a great computer but wants to play something that's kind of fresh and redone. Okay. I hope you guys have a great night. Mouth us out.